We want to get to our big interview here. Some big news today, overnight, for Minneapolis Assistant Police Chief Katie Blackwell. So there was this defamation lawsuit that she filed against Alpha News and local reporter Liz Collin that's been dismissed by a judge. And again, this happened overnight. This is one of the many things that we wanted to talk to Police Chief Brian O'Hara about from Minneapolis PD. Thank you so much for being here and for joining us from time to talk about things.
Of course, thank you.
So let's start with the defamation lawsuit. Again, just really hot off the presses late last night. Your Assistant Police Chief, Katie Blackwell, testified, of course, during the Derek Chauvin trial. She was a police inspector, I believe, at the time. And then Liz Collin, a reporter for Alpha News, wrote a book, did a documentary, and really questioned whether or not Blackwell lied during her testimony about police training. This ruling from the judge today has dismissed this civil lawsuit. So I guess first and foremost, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's obvious in the judge's ruling that he is ruling simply that as a matter of Minnesota law, the statements that were made in the documentary, in the documentary specifically, are protected. They are protected by free speech. It has to do with the media and journalists and so on. So it is not about the veracity of her testimony. It is very specifically about that the speech that was made in that documentary is clearly protected, which is, makes perfect sense to me. And just even reading through the judge's rationale, the judge makes it clear that a lot of the statements were ambiguous in nature, maybe, that kind of thing. So, it makes sense to me. But the bigger picture for me, the most important thing for me, again, is to be supportive of all of my police officers, and that includes the assistant chief. She was not the only person that testified during that trial. There were many members of the department, current and former, who did. And that part was not easy. Just like everything that all of the Minneapolis police officers endured here over the last few years have been very, very challenging. And I think what gets lost in all of these stories, that this stuff keeps bringing up stuff from the past. And it is lost on a lot of folks that our people are human beings, and they've struggled a lot trying to do the right thing. And the overwhelming majority of them, 99.9% of the time, are doing an amazing job under difficult circumstances. Yeah.
Just one more, follow-up question about the fall of Minneapolis, which you said last time I talked to you, you had watched. You said at that time there were some valid points there. Where for you did you start to disagree with what they were doing?
Well, I think the implication, and I'm not saying it says this, I don't remember specifically, right. The implication that that Derek Chauvin was somehow a scapegoat, that he did not know what he was doing was wrong, or he should not have known, or he, it's not the case that he should have known better, right. At the worst. Like that, implying that is just ridiculous. Okay. Yeah.
Do you know what, not to ask you to speak for her, but do you know what Assistant Chief Blackwell was hoping to accomplish with this civil suit?
I don't know. I have not asked her that specifically. Again, I do know for all of the police officers here, this has been a real challenge. And it's frustrating, as their chief today, it's frustrating that, we lost, by the time I got here, we lost literally half the department. Over 500 officers have left since 2020 of a 900-person department. And our officers have many times broken down to me crying while they're telling me stories of what they've been through, of things that their family members have been through, and how they have felt kind of everyone just turned their back on them. So I think it's important for people to understand that, Katie, as well as everyone else who's here, they're human beings and they have been through a lot. And I'm incredibly thankful that we have the few people who have remained and the few that are willing to come on board. We have them to do such a difficult job.